In this video, I'll lay out everything I wish I knew before starting my solar marketing agency. Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I know some of you watching are from that side of the road, which is you are either starting out in solar, but you're not sure if you should start a marketing agency or become a rep or a dealer or whatnot. Well, some of you are already agencies, so this video will be for you. Now, I can tell you right off the bat that you're going to want to pay 100% attention to this video all the way through the end, because I'm going to reveal things that will save you a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of headache. So the first thing I wish I knew before starting my agency is that I need to have a service or a product or a productized service. And what a productized service is that you're not just a glorified contractor at the end of the day, which is what a lot of agencies actually do. They do all the reaching out, they do all the basically client prospecting, they close, they do the onboarding, they do the service delivery. And what I actually mean by that is when you get a couple of clients, all you do is then worry about how to deliver on those clients, and then you forget about the most important thing in the business, which is prospecting. Now, what is a productized service? A productized service is a service that works almost without boundaries. And what that means is once you fully have a productized service, you can onboard 50 clients that month and your systems will still not break. This is where you know you have an actual business. Because for the most part, the first scenario that I described, which is somebody, does all the prospecting, and once they got the clients, instead of continuing to prospect for new clients and new business, they didn't start to go and worry about the service delivery, which is absolutely horribly wrong. I do not recommend strongly. How do I know this? Because this was one of the mistakes that I initially made, and I didn't have no one telling me these things. If there was a YouTube video of somebody talking about these things, I would have known about it, but there was nothing. That's why I'm here right now laying it all out for you so you don't have to make the same mistakes as I did. Now, usually the way you achieved a productized service is you have a team of people, either one person or a team of people, to take care of the client delivery, and those same people help you build out the onboarding process. Maybe you're good at that, so you build out the onboarding process so everything's absolutely automatic. You don't have to do anything. Once you close a client, client's done, everything's good to go. Now, once you have a productized service, the next thing is, what is it that you're going to charge? Now, when I started out, I started charging what I saw my competition was doing. So my competition was doing $1,500 a month, $2,000 a month, $2,500 a month. It was about that range, anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500 a month. And that's what it was. And so I didn't question it. I was like, these guys are doing it for longer than I have. And so I'm not going to try and reinvent the wheel. I'm just gonna do that initially, and then once I learn the ropes, then we'll see how it goes. But that's the thing. When I was starting out, I never even thought about increasing my prices, which is what I want to tell you. You should absolutely think about, how do I deliver the most amount of value so people can actually pay me more upfront? And this is not about greed. This is about the likelihood of the entire business model working out in your favor. Because if, let's say, your acquisition channel, any acquisition channel for that matter, if you have somebody doing cold DMs, if you have somebody doing, which I wouldn't recommend really, but that will be my next point. If you have Facebook ads or YouTube ads running, it'll be the same thing. You have a cost per acquisition, what it costs you to acquire that sale. And then if it's really a business, it's not going to be you closing or following up with all the leads that come in from the ads. What you're going to have is somebody, a setter, maybe a closer, or somebody that does both of these things. But you're going to have to pay them out commission. So what happens? Okay, let's say it costs you $2,000, conservatively, $2,000 to acquire a deal. And then on that $2,000, let's say you got to pay commission. Commission's anywhere between 10 to 20%, usually. Now, $2,000, let's take the 20% that you're going to pay out to the closer. That's $400. And you could already see how this is probably not going to work. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's very easy. It's just math, right? $2,000 in, very conservatively. Then you have to pay the closer another $400. So now you've wasted $400 to get a client that might stay on with you for another month or two if your service is even remotely good. Why that model is really broken and it doesn't really work? Because you're always going to have to go out of pocket in order to acquire new clients, and that's the wrong way to scale a business. The first one I heard about that idea, I'll be super honest with you, I heard it from Alex Hormozi And when it was talking about you got to do a high ticket, you have to price it at a premium. So you have 2.5 times the amount to acquire a customer. He calls it 2.5, forget what it was, 2.5 CAC, which is cost to acquire customer. And now you don't have to go out of pocket. Now the cycle is really self-fulfilling and you get to pretty much grow on your own will. Like you could pretty much grow as much as you can at this point. I didn't understand this and it took me the longest time to grasp, because I was like, it's already hard like selling a $2,000 product or a service. How am I gonna sell, let's say, $4,000 or $5,000 service? That's what I thought in my mind, but that was the wrong thinking. It really is a broken way of looking at growing the business because it doesn't work. It simply doesn't work. If you get one thing from this video, it's never about the money. It's all about what you offer, the value that you bring to the table. So don't let this get into your head and think, oh, I'm not gonna have anyone pay me $5,000 or whatever the amount is, even $10,000. If the value's good, people will pay you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. Right now, I have a product that the minimum price point is $25,000 and people pay it, and it's still in the solar industry. Now we took care of the price. The next thing is you got to know who your ideal audience is. To all of you out there starting in solar and wanting to hit up solar companies, I'm going to tell you one thing and one thing only. To hit your ideal audience, you have to understand the type of individuals that are in the solar industry. You have a solar rep, you have a solar dealer, which is a sales organization, and you have a solar company. So these three, I didn't even know about the solar rep and the solar dealer. I was so green, I only thought about the actual solar companies, which you could find out on Google, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. So I used to, look up their emails and phone numbers and things like that and try and reach out to them. That's the wrong way to approach it because these people are not your ideal clients. Your ideal clients are people who their livelihood depend on selling jobs. The solar installer, their livelihood and the company growing does not depend on them selling jobs because they might have other solar dealers or reps that are sending them jobs. Now, their thing is, if we do a good job as a solar company, as an installer, how do we deliver a better service to our dealers or reps? How do we make sure that we accommodate them as much as possible? How do we improve our internal process? But it's not sales. There's very, very few companies, very few companies. I've worked with hundreds of solar companies. I can probably count on my one hand all the people that have actually done a good job in both the selling and the installation part. So let's take that out of the way. These are not your ideal audience. What does that even mean? It means that if you're going to try to reach out to them via email or even try to cold call them, it's not going to work because you're going to end up speaking to receptionists and they're going to have to put you to the owner and this, that, and the other. It doesn't work. And even if you end up closing a few people, they're going to be a nightmare to deal with. I've done the homework for you. Your ideal audience is reps and dealers. That is it. How you find those people? Well, unfortunately, most of them don't have websites and they might be doing hundreds of jobs per month. A lot of them don't even have social media. They don't have websites. You can't find them on Google because they don't have a Google My Business. They're not a solar company. They can sell pretty much anywhere in the country. They have their own client acquisition methods that they deploy. They either buy leads from lead sources or they hire somebody like yourself, a marketing agency, to do that for them. Once we determine that, where do you actually find good enough people? The closer you get to find those people is, I would say, Facebook groups. And the second thing is LinkedIn. There's a lot of people from Power. One thing I give it to them is that they have a exceptional recruiting machine because they recruit each other in a way. But most of their people that end up joining are absolutely clueless. They don't know anything about solar. They don't know anything about generating leads, none of that stuff. So I personally wouldn't do it if it came down to it. And if you had to reach out, if you didn't have money to spend on ads or to market yourself, I would do LinkedIn and Facebook groups. Okay, Facebook groups predominantly. And the way you stand out is by delivering value, by posting in the groups, not spamming, obviously, and then making friends with the people in the the groups. And number 3 is the choosing one advertising channel. I used to make the mistake of I started cold calling. And then at the same time, I try to do cold email. And then at the same time, both of them were wrong, but I tried them both and pretty much at the same time. And then I started doing some Facebook ads. So I'm going to tell you this. All you need to do is one advertising channel. The best channel you could possibly choose, for me, the most scalable way to do it, is not earned media, which is maybe the way I would be able to get clients. It took a long while to get me to this point. I've been doing this channel for 40 years. Definitely, it's been a ride to get to the point that I'm at. Now I can say a lot of people recognize who I am in the solar industry, of course. And people that are looking to start in solar, or they want to know how to generate leads, or they want somebody to do it for them, they come to me. But it took me a while, and it's still not a very predictable method of generating business that way. So I wouldn't really worry about too much about earned media. It's good to do it. I would personally do it for credibility's sake. That's why, truth be told, I started this channel. That was the main goal for this channel, and I think I've already achieved that, which I'm very, very happy about. But it's not the route that I would take. What I would do instead is I would have an advertising channel like Facebook ads, and I would build out a simple funnel, and I will have them all book a call and go to either myself or a closer. To begin with, probably do it myself, and then I would end up hiring people. But for the most part, it'll be super simple funnel with a short video, book a call, fill out a form, and then I end up talking to them. Like, literally, that's it. I would not overcomplicate it because it's not complicated. But whatever channel you choose, your perfect ideal audience is not on Google, predominantly not even on social media, I would call it. You might be able to find some of your ideal prospects in Facebook groups, but that's about it. So it's still not a reliable method for me to know, okay, how do I get another 15 or 20 clients this month? It's not going to be through reaching out. So I don't really like it. I prefer to know, okay, I need to spend this much money to get this much back from Facebook ads, because that's the only channel that I could scale with predictability. And for those of you that are thinking, well, Evan, it's easy for you to say, how do I charge those $5,000 a month contracts? How do I even charge that kind of money? Again, I'm telling you, it's all about value. I have one of the most exciting projects that I've been working on called the Solar Boss AI. It would allow agency owners to go in, pull the data, put it through an AI call center, and pretty much do all the client's work delivery for them. And you'll be able to charge your clients on a per appointment basis or per monthly fee or whatever. But it would end up being an absolute no-brainer for your client if they only have to pay you $4,000 to $5,000 a month. So pay very close attention to this channel, because it's going to be very, very soon, and it's going to revolutionize the solar industry as we know it. If you have any questions for me, put them down in the comments below. If they're any good, I'll make a video on it. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you again in the next one.